It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu, and tonight I'm here with
Ejubi Wiafe Akenting.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
Once again, my name is Abdul Shatta Wale, aka the Mayor of New York. I come in here with almost 200 motorbikes with my neighbor people. I'm not here for nothing, but everybody listen to me. We all here love Shatta Wale, right? I want everybody, one of us, to obey by the rule and law, by the law of the rule.
Hundreds of supporters of Shatta Wale throng or storm the head office of the Economic and Organized Crimes Office, EOCO, after popular dancehall artist Shatta Wale remains or was arrested formally and held in custody of EOCO more than 12 hours. He was detained in connection with a Lamborghini he allegedly procured through a dodgy deal. Also coming up on Eyewitness News, courier and dispatch riders protest what they term increased harassment against them by police on their streets. And later on Eyewitness News,
I asked, why did you do this, gentleman? The gentleman then stretched his hand, shaking me and trying to whisper something into my ears. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, should I push the guy that don't whisper anything into my ears?
Minister of Health Kwabena Mintakando defends his actions following the incident at Ridge Hospital, which has drawn anger from medical practitioners. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Association of Ghana Industries demand urgent crackdown on illicit imports despite gains made by Ghana Citi.
That's in 15 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations, including Tongson 97.3 FM in Wa, Jirapa 96.1 FM in Jirapa, Quality 88.7 FM in Garu, Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM in Bimbila, VOV Radio 95.7 in Hohwe, Revival FM 99.3 in Tajevu, Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi, Focus 94.3 FM also in Kumasi, On Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both based in Takrady. We're live on YouTube and live on Facebook. Just follow the discourse and send your messages on our WhatsApp platform 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. I am Umaru Sandamadu here with Ejubi Wiafe Akenting. We start off with what's happening at the Economic and Organized Crimes Office, EOCO. Shatta Wale, popular dancehall artist, his real name Ni Ama Mensah, has been in custody since yesterday. So Charles Ni Ama Mensah has been in custody since yesterday after the EOCO invited him to come answer some questions in relation to a yellow Lamborghini which investigators suspect is linked to the proceeds of a $4 million crime in the United States of America. Shatta Wale was granted bail, all right, with two sureties to be justified, but the conditions have not been met as yet, and that's why he still remains in custody. According to preliminary reports, EOCO is suggesting that he has not been able to verify the identity of the person from whom he bought the vehicle in question. Hundreds of his supporters have gathered at the EOCO head office since morning, singing along to his songs and demanding his release. Let's listen to some of them before we go to our man on the ground, Charles Osukomi.
I want to send a message to local boss. We love him, we respect him. What we want to beg him, we are begging him. All the conditions that they give Shatta Wale, we are ready to follow it. But the money is too much. We are bleeding. They have to reduce the money so that we can give him a Shatta Wale is not unrubber. Shatta Wale is not mafia. Shatta Wale is not cancer. Shatta Wale is a musician.
So that is one of many reactions that we are seeing from the economic and organized crimes office, where Shatta Wale is currently in detention. Charles Osukomi has been there all afternoon. I'm going to, in fact, give you another flavor of some of the supporters of Shatta Wale before we hear from Charles Osukomi.
Go there. Shatta Wale no go there. Shatta, I said Shatta, no go there. Tomama, Shatta, no go there. Shatta Wale kept us more than you. We are more than here. We are more than. Yeah?
So let's go to Charles Osukomi now. Charles, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. You've been there all afternoon. What has been happening?
Well, Sanda, the situation remains the same. Shatta Wale is still in custody, and his supporters, SM fans, they call themselves, flooding the streets right across the Yoko head office, hundreds of them. They brought with them some PA system here and blasting loud Shatta Wale music all day and dancing and singing Shatta Wale anthems. Well, Shatta Wale himself, he has about 8 million followers on Facebook, X, and Instagram. So he has a huge following. And since news of his arrest and detention broke yesterday, these supporters have besieged the offices of Yoko. Earlier in the day, there was no security presence there when they stormed here this morning. But I can tell you that as I speak, there are police officers stationed in front of the Yoko head office. They have mounted barricades right in front of the entrance of Yoko, as has been the case in similar situations and similar arrests that we have covered here on Citi FM. So the security situation looks to be under control. So far, I have not seen or heard or recorded any major incident. Once in a while, you hear somebody shout, if they don't release Shatta Wale today, they are not going home. But on the substantive matter of Shatta Wale's arrest, we know that Yoko has acted a bit differently when it comes to these arrests, especially in this Shatta Wale case. It's put out 2 statements on this very Shatta Wale issue regarding this Lamborghini Urus. Now, after the first statement Yoko released, we know that Shatta Wale, who is very active on social media, went on social media live and said that he bought that vehicle for $150,000. And following that, he was invited by Yoko to come and answer some questions, because Yoko is telling us that that vehicle is part of the proceeds of a $4 million crime, which is under investigation here in Ghana and in the United States. And so he was invited yesterday to come and answer questions regarding the purchase of the vehicle, taxes on that vehicle, and also taxes regarding his businesses. He was subsequently then granted that 10 million city bill with 2 sureties. That he has not been able to fulfill these conditions, and so he is still in Yoko custody. I've seen a few of some of the musicians. I've seen Bullet's fellow musician and producer, other members of Shatta Wale's inner circle, coming to the Yoko office, all working with their lawyers to try and fulfill the conditions of this bill. But that has not happened. It's past 5:30 now. We don't know yet if he will be able to post the bill today. But the indication I get from these fans whose numbers keep increasing, we also have people who have closed from work and use this route occasionally, just stand by and watch what's going on the numbers keep increasing, but the indication we get from them is that if Shatta Wale is not released today, they will not leave the premises of Yoko. So we're keeping waiting for what will happen from now until the day ends. It's past 5:30, which is the closing time for Yoko. But we don't know if they are going to wait and continue to do the verification of documents and all of that, trying to justify these sureties for Shatta Wale and his subsequent release. So we're still waiting here, keeping tabs for what's going to happen.
Charles, so aside the fans who are on the streets chanting and screaming and demanding he be released, do you have officials who work with him, perhaps relatives or lawyers who come out occasionally to brief the crowd that is outside there?
Well, yes. I mean, occasionally someone will come out and ask them to stay calm because they are working on these on the bail conditions. We spoke briefly with Bullet, who says he's a musician and producer. He's a friend to Shatta Wale. His theory is that Shatta Wale has been able to open the eye, literally, of the musicians and the music industry, that you can make money in music here in Ghana, and he has legitimately made money, according to Bullet. And so the establishment is not happy about that, for which reason they want to sort of bring him down. That is his theory. I tried asking him if going forward, using the Shatta Wale experience, musicians and celebrities should be a bit more circumspect in their procurement of some of luxurious vehicles and other luxurious goods, but he didn't answer that. He still maintained that this is a witch hunt of some sort. So that's what's happening. Occasionally, one of the people in his inner circle will come and speak to the fans and just trying to calm tempers down. And
Charles, is Bullet anywhere close to you? Is he ready? Would he be able to speak with you about what he has gathered from the side?
No, he's in the inner perimeter, which is an area that police have not even allowed journalists to go. So he's not anywhere close to me. The crowd is really currently now gathered all around the barricade, and it's even difficult for Yoko officials, people who work at Yoko. They have to get the attention of the police to even allow them some space to be able to go into their offices. So Bullet is not anywhere close to me.
I see.
No.
That road that you are speaking to us from is a busy road from Accra Central towards the Supreme Court area or towards Teshi. Has it been blocked to traffic?
Not entirely, portions. So one half of the road, the part that is right across the Yoko office, one half has been taken over, but there is the other lane is open to traffic. Wasn't the case a bit earlier in the day, about an hour or two ago, but now all the dancing and music has calmed down a bit. Looks like the people have exerted too much energy, so there's now space for vehicles to really go through that section of the street.
Thank you so much. Please be safe and keep an eye on the events and keep reporting to us. Charles Osukumi is our reporter there at Iyoko, currently bringing us updates on the arrest and detention of Shatta Wale. Amanda Clinton is head of Chambers Clinton Consultancy. She's a lawyer. She's an international and local lawyer, so she covers international legal matters as well as domestic matters. She's joined us on the line. Madam, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Now, the international perspective to this is, if you look at the Iyoko statement, it's suggesting that they are sort of doing some work here for and with the FBI of the United States of America in relation to a vehicle that whose owner or who has the owner's registration, or the person whose registered as the owner of that vehicle, currently has offended the law in the U.S. and is in their custody. How do these two states work together in these matters, and how big a deal it is that Shatta Wale is found having a vehicle whose owner is currently in custody, which vehicle itself is questionable?
Yes. Just for your listeners to understand, so what's basically happening is 4 people were recently extradited in relation to, I think it was $100 million romance scam. And when the U.S. tries to get the money back in terms of to just give the victims back the money, etc., sometimes they'll have to do like a restitution order. And this particular restitution order that, Shatta Wale is involved in is like a $4.75 million restitution order. And basically the U.S. wrote to the Attorney General's Department, and the Attorney General's Department referred it to YOCO. And YOCO would have to apply to court for an enforcement order. And so just having briefly looked at the facts, it's quite interesting because it looks like Shatta Wale is like mounting an innocent purchaser defense. You see what I mean? So YOCO can't automatically just send that car back. They have to go to the High Court, and the judge is going to look at the U.S. order. He or she is going to look at, does it fit our standards for asset forfeiture and crime? It certainly does. And then this is the final hurdle the judge is going to look at. Is there a local owner or innocent purchaser who can claim that, they had absolutely no idea, had no knowledge of this? And so that's why it's quite interesting to read that he said, someone from the street, he lost the person's contact, etc., etc. So he's basically trying to mount an innocent purchaser defense.
Even though we do know that buyer beware is also a principle in law that may be used against him.
Yes, definitely. And perhaps that is why YOCO has added, money laundering and tax evasion and different sorts of charges. Maybe they are warranted too, in terms of they've looked at how his lifestyle is, and maybe things don't show up in the books. But it's also a way of pressuring him to perhaps just, give up the car, basically. But it is very interesting, just because it seems now that the FBI and YOCO are cooperating more and more, because, our former finance minister, the FBI has given the green light, or State Department's given the green light for him to come. And then 4 people are being extradited. So it seems like they're having more of a relationship to swap information and to swap people, basically. And Shatta Wale's just been caught up in all of that, basically.
Interesting. Now, the defense that he's putting up is innocence. But currently, he's not even on trial yet. The YOCO is asking him to go home, provided he provides surety, and the amount that has been pegged is 10 million. There are some views that YOCO is detaining people unlawfully under the guise of very harsh bail conditions. What's your comment on that as a lawyer?
I don't agree with that, just because, the Economic and Organized Crime Office has a very, very specific mandate to do with money laundering, proceeds of crime, fraud, tax evasion, corruption, cybercrime, and anything that is economic or financial crime. And once you get involved in these sort of cases, money moves fast, people buy things to hide things, and it becomes a lot more complicated. So YOCO has the authority and the mandate to uncover a lot of things. And once there is a suspicion, that suspicion has to be followed through with evidence, such as, did one of the 4 defendants that got thrown out, did he ever have this in his possession? Is there a witness as to how Shatta Wale got it? They're building a case, basically, and I don't think they would just, walk up to anybody on the street. They normally watch people for months, and they have evidence that they haven't released to him or his lawyer, etc., and they know what they're doing with this. But Shatta Wale probably won't be charged with this car crime. You know what I mean? It is a simple mutual legal assistance request made to the Attorney General, who referred it to YOCO, And all they want is to get an enforcement order to send it back, basically. And they'll have to go to the High Court to get that enforcement order. So Shatta Wale is definitely not going to be prosecuted for the crime. But, there are other things that are up for grabs in terms of, tax evasion, etc., because perhaps his lifestyle doesn't match the income. Who knows? I mean, I can't speculate.
And the issue of possession of quote and unquote a stolen item, how about that? Or that's too far?
But I mean, a lot of people. I bought second-hand cars in this country. A lot of people buy second-hand cars. I think there's more second-hand cars in this country than brand new cars. Do you see what I mean? So to be an innocent purchaser is normal, sort of thing. But once you're dealing with that level of car, in terms of it is so high end, there's so few Lamborghini Uruses in the country, even though it's 2019, there's probably there can't be more than 10, 15 in the whole country, And so once you have that, the people who sell it are often very proud of their cars, or they say, oh, so owned it before. You see what I mean? So there's a presumption that one would know the history of the car. But he has an innocent purchaser claim, one that he's probably going to mount if they try and enforce the order to send that car back, basically, or to ship that car back. So, yeah, I mean, it is interesting, but Yoko doesn't have an easy job, because anything involving economic and organized crime is very layered, just because the money has to move, the houses have to be bought, the cars have to be bought, and it's just to make everything look a lot messier, so you can't trace it. So they're probably just investigating, and they'll probably be investigating it for quite a few months before they would do this. I don't think Yoko would just knock on somebody's door and do this.
Under the law, would there be a need to send Shatta Wale to the United States? I know that the officials are asking for the vehicle, but would there be a need, based on your knowledge of how these things work, where they would ask that Yoko sends him over so he could aid investigations, perhaps?
Definitely not. I mean, they've already made the case in America. I mean, that's why it's a restitution order of 4.74 million. They've proven that, money was acquired by those individuals, and they basically can't get their hands on all that money. So the asset is supposed to, forfeit that amount of money up to a certain amount. So as soon as, if the car goes back, then the amount is reduced, etc., because it's a restitution order. So it's purely administrative in terms of the procedure. AG's department referred this to Yoko, and then Yoko would have to go through the AG's department probably to apply to the High Court, and a Ghanaian judge is going to go to go and look at the enforcement order if it's necessary, and they will look at, does anybody have an innocent purchaser claim, and if the judge is satisfied, then the car won't go back. So Ghana has authority, and Ghana has sovereignty when it comes to that.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Okay, thank you.
That's Amanda Clinton. She's head of Chambers, Clinton Consultancy, speaking to us there on the detention of Shatta Wale. Meanwhile, he remains in custody at the Iyoko, and the fans are on the streets demanding that he be released, while his lawyers and also aides and also persons who work with him are in the inner perimeter of Iyoko, working around securing that particular conditions, or ensuring that those conditions are met so he could walk home. While we talk about the Economic and Organized Crimes Office, Iyoko, the Office of Special Prosecutor, which is a neighboring institution engaged in the fight against crime, has been talking. Ejubi.
The OSP has warned that it will investigate individuals whose lifestyle are inconsistent with their declared sources of income. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, OSP's Director of Strategy, Research and Communication, Samuel Daku, noted that Ghana has been slow to develop legal frameworks for enforcement, citing concerns over potential political misuse.
The challenge, as I said, and even if you read, I think Article 2.8, I've forgotten the real chapter, is talk about unexplained wealth. So if you look at Ghana's regime, our constitution is in full support of non-conviction-based forfeiture, except that we have not developed the legal instrument to operationalize it. So, for instance, I'm aware that when they were considering the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, we had an express reverse burden, but in the course of deliberations, it was taken out because of this fear by politicians that it may be subject to abuse. But it does not mean that Ghana's legal architecture does not recognize non-conviction-based forfeiture. We have just not been bold enough to flesh it out because a lot of people fear abuse. But everything in this world is subject to abuse. And that's why there are checks and balances. That's why you have to also go to court and do the basic work, which is that you are trying to tell people that I've done the basic work, cross the dots, and that this guy cannot still afford the lifestyle he's living.
You had Director of Strategy, Research and Communication at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Samuel Daku. Meanwhile, criminologist Dr. Suleiman Lazarus has urged governments in Ghana and across West Africa to adopt broader strategies in combating cybercrime beyond mere arrests and prosecutions. He noted that many offenders view their actions as survival strategies rather than intentional criminal acts.
To get more results or to reduce these cybercrime issues, the West African government, Ghana, Nigeria, and other nations, Cameroon, they need to do much more than what they are doing. One angle of improvement is the issue of public perception, because many people in Ghana and Nigeria, they perceive these cybercrime issues as not a problem. And they compare the government and they point out, oh, this local councillor, this governor is corrupt, or these small boys, they're just trying to survive. If they have a legitimate way of earning a substantial income, would they be doing this or doing that? I am saying what people say on social media. So that is a good place, a good starting point, because that public perception also kind of offers social legitimacy.
That was criminologist Dr. Suleiman Lazarus.
This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. I am Umaru Sandamad here with Jubi Wiafia Kenton. Let me bring some of the messages that you have been sending through. Koku Bansa says, before a person can be convicted of dishonestly receiving or handling stolen goods, the law requires the prosecution to prove three things. One, that the goods in question were indeed stolen, that the accused person knew the goods were stolen, and that despite this knowledge, the accused assisted in disposing of the goods in a manner other than returning them to their rightful owners. This principle was established by the Supreme Court case of Gariba versus the state. I pray for the self-acclaimed king of the streets, actually pretending to be a lawyer. Emil Akwinsivi in Akwemufie says, how can Shatta Wale say he bought the car from the street? He must come again to make the case easy for him. Abdurazak from Boko says, nobody is above the laws of the land. If Shatta Wale's Lamborghini purchase is suspicious, he must be investigated and brought to book, regardless of his popularity. Ghana must work again. Daniel Akpaliok in Sandema says, turning investigations into street carnivals only emboldens wrongdoing and weakens our democracy. True loyalty to our stars and leaders should mean supporting due process, not obstructing justice. Akapol Jr. in Hafomim says, the fanatics of Shatta Wale must calm down and allow his lawyers to fight for him in the court of law. Massing up at Ioko office will not help his case in any way. You can also send your message 0549 986 996 0549 986 996.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Fun fact. Did you know that most frogs can leap more than 20 times their body length? Yup, magical. Now just imagine your business with that kind of reach. Take that leap with Frog. Frog is a bulk SMS, voice messaging, and IVR from Wiggle. User-friendly, fast, and reliable. Get more features on one platform for all your bulk messaging needs. Whether you're a church, financial institution, school, corporate organization, or individual, if you need to reach people with your services, do it with Frog. Contact 0553 019 529 or 0552 809 558. Speak to us at www.wiggle.com.gh. Frog, a leap into greatness.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now, on Sunday, a group of persons went to the Ridge Hospital. They were live when they were engaging in whatever activity they engaged in. That has been the talk of town since that day. Today, the Minister for Health has been responding to some of his actions in the aftermath of that event. The Ghana Medical Association is not very happy, and even the nurses too are not happy with how he approached the issue. Ajubi has a story for us.
Health Minister Kwabena Minta Akando says his engagement with Ralph St. Williams, the man accused of assaulting a nurse at Ridge Hospital, should not be interpreted as a sign that he will not take firm action on the matter. His comments follow public backlash after a video circulated on social media showing him shaking hands with the accused. Addressing the press today, the minister clarified that the interaction was only a formality and would not affect the ministry's commitment to ensuring appropriate action is taken against perpetrators.
I then constituted a committee to look into the matter, bring out recommendations for implementation. A lawyer, a nurse, a medical doctor, an auditor, an HR person to go into the matter. Now, when I pulled out, my attention was drawn to a gentleman called Ralph, who was at the center of the controversy. And so he was walking towards us as a group. The medical director was with me. The deputy director general was also with me. Then I asked, why did you do this, gentleman? The gentleman then stretched his hand, shaking me and trying to whisper something into my ears. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, should I push the guy that don't whisper anything into my ears? Should I snub him? Should I shout at him? So let us not reduce the fact that I shook hands with him does not mean that I should stop any measure or any steps that the ministry or government will take to unravel the situation. We have a lot to deliver, and some of these things will not divert our attention.
Kwabena Minta Akando also cautioned against attempts to create tension between the ministry and health workers.
Let me state this, that I have the health workers of this country at heart. And so any attempt by any individual or any group of people to try to incite the health professionals against government, pretending he cares more than us, is unfortunate. And we must stop that. It's an avoidable tension we must avoid. It doesn't help the sector. If indeed you are a practicing health professional in the sector, it doesn't help the sector.
You heard Health Minister Kwabena Minta Akando. Still on the matter, Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, has outlined new measures to strengthen the National Labour Commission in protecting employees, especially those who deal directly with the public from attacks. Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, Dr. Pelpo said a meeting has been convened with the Labour Commission to discuss strategies for addressing and preventing such incidents.
One of the key things we do in the ministry is to ensure that we have a stable, healthy workforce in this country, and it's part of the law that is binding our functional duty to the people of Ghana. And we have the Labour Commission, which has all the duties of ensuring that single issues like these are handled effectively. So I have called a meeting with them, and they would look at it more comprehensively and advise on what next they will need to strengthen their own capacity to make sure the whole country is covered. The Labour Commission has requested that it will be of great importance if we can have regional offices which will look at it comprehensively throughout the country.
Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Rashid Pelpo. Away from that, national security operatives in the Ashanti region have intercepted dozens of diapers suspected to be counterfeit. According to the operatives, the diapers branded in the name of a well-known Ghanaian company were smuggled into the country from Nigeria using falsified documentation. Samples of the seized products were submitted to the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, which confirmed they were counterfeit and unsafe for public use. Speaking to the media, Deputy Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator Alhaji Tasoba Hassan said efforts are underway to identify and apprehend those behind the importation of the fake products.
Let's get more on this particular importation that you've just talked about. The Alhaji Tasoba Al-Hassan is Deputy Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Did this happen as a result of what, a tip-off or something you have been following for some time?
Well, thank you very much. I think it is through our vigilance that we arrested them. Sorry, I have a short show. It's through our vigilance and the help of our informants, which I will not disclose for now.
So the information is that these diapers came from Nigeria. What quantum are we talking about, the quantity?
The quantities, we are talking about 111 bills. They normally build them like the way they build the foods from Europe. That is normally how they do. They put it in sacks.
And did they brand it in a company in Ghana or in the name of a Ghanaian company or a foreign company?
It is a Ghanaian company, but they use about 5 different sacks on one bill. 5 different sacks on one bill. We asked them, someone called, the person claimed that the diapers is for her. We told her to come to the office and then take it, but she didn't, because she knew that definitely we will arrest her. We had information about 4 cars. The rest, we've combed the whole of Kumasi, we've not found them. But still, we are working to get where they park the cars and they'll go and get that one too.
So what, more than one car brought the consignment?
The cars were about 4 to 5 cars. Normally what they do is they test the waters. One car will come. If they offload it, then another one will follow. But when they normally pack it, before they bring it one by one, it is now that we are tracing them to find where they park.
I see. Now, if people brought diapers from Nigeria, what is wrong with it?
There's nothing wrong with it if it is genuine. One, Nigerians have been imitating our goods. These diapers, there's a big company in Ghana here who normally put those diapers. But these people take the samples to Nigeria, do the same way they bring it. What worries us is custom officers. It normally passes through the borders, Aflao up to Kumasi. And I think we have a lot of custom checks from Aflao to Kumasi here. So we are inviting the custom officer, the commander on Monday, to find out why his people are allowing such goods to come. Because the woman sent someone to bring a receipt that they paid the custom duty. When we called one of the custom officers to our office, he said, no, these things are on custom goods. And moreover, they are fake. Just this afternoon, we were at Malaysia for the 1 week celebration. We've arrested an custom goods, that is rice, the same thing from Nigeria, no duty.
Now, so how many vehicles are you looking for? 4 or 3?
We are looking for more than 10 vehicles.
Okay.
But for now, these datas, we have about 4 cars that are on their way coming. But we don't know when and where these days were offloaded. But our men are on the ground and we are checking this.
But the drivers, you have them in custody?
The drivers, when we bought one and they saw us coming, the driver just booted. So the car is even at RCC as I talk to you now. We've parked the car there.
Now, you can also not go to the markets and just choose who would have been the recipients.
We started going to the market since yesterday. We started going to the market since yesterday to find out if we can get some.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's Deputy Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator Alhaji Tapsoba Al Hassan. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Talking about Shatta Wale, we're just receiving information about him. His lawyer, Cephas Boyo, has confirmed to us here on 97.3 Citi FM that Shatta Wale, his client, has been released from the custody of Iyoko after he met revised bail conditions. According to the lawyer, the bail, which was initially set for 10 million or set at 10 million cedis, was reduced to 5 million cedis with 2 sureties, and that as part of the bail conditions, Shatta Wale is supposed to report to Iyoko 3 times a week. So that's what we are just receiving. If you're just tuning in, Shatta Wale has been released from the custody of the Economic and Organized Crimes Office. The bail conditions have been reduced from 10 million to 5 million, and is expected to report to Iyoko 3 times a week. That is the information that we have picked up in relation to Shatta Wale, who has been in custody since last night after 9 p.m. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. AJB, what else do we have?
To some more stories, some motorcycle couriers in Ghana have raised concerns over what they describe as unjust seizure of their bikes from the Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commission. The commission recently conducted an operation targeting unlicensed operators impounding motorbikes and issuing spot fines. However, some couriers say they had obtained licenses through companies approved by the commission only for them to be later rejected by its staff. Speaking to Citi News, General Secretary of the Motorcycle Couriers Union, Timothy Abugri Ajengri, called on the Communications Minister and the Commission to address and resolve the issue promptly.
We took it to ourselves as a union, and we went to Postal and Courier last year. And when we went there, they turned us down that they would not even have any meeting with us because we are not licensed with them, and the only people they know is the partners. So if the only people you know are the partners and you will not have a meeting with us, why are you now fighting we that you say you cannot have meeting with us rather than fighting the partners? We are calling on the Executive Secretary of Postal and Courier and the Minister, Mr. Sam George, to call his men to order. We have not broken any law. We are abiding citizens and we have followed due process. We are under some particular licenses from their own offices that we are working. So if they think the licenses they have given to the people don't have the power to cover us, they should revoke those licenses and let us all sit together and see how we will now solve this problem.
Timothy Abugri Ajengri is General Secretary of the Motorcycle Couriers Union of Ghana.
Now, some of them have been protesting. Let's listen to them. The members of the Postal and Courier Service Providers Association, they were angry. They say that they have been harassed. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Maybe what else do we have?
The Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, GRTCC, and other transport unions have called off their planned protest over the poor condition of the Pokwase Nsawam Road. The commercial unions had raised concerns about traffic congestion caused by the road's deterioration. Speaking to Citi News, GRTCC Chairman Alhaji Mohammed Tanko praised the government for its prompt intervention, describing it as a clear commitment to addressing the concerns of drivers and passengers.
Formerly, we are crying because of the road is not good, and we want government to repair the road for us. And they have sent the contractor and the machines on the road. They have started. So all what we need is to repair the road. When they start doing that work, it doesn't need that we too should go to the strike again. That is why we stop the strike. Because once he has brought the machines and the contractors on the road, that it means what he has accepted our crying.
You heard Chairman for Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, Alhaji Mohammed Tanko.
Now let's go back to Shatta Wale. I just told you a short while ago that he has been granted bail. Let's listen to Sammy Flex. He's Shatta Wale's manager.
I am actually not coming to do Q&A. I'm here to supply information to you guys, and that's it. The good news is that Shatta Wale has been granted bail and he has been released. Finally, at the moment, released to go home. Once again, another good news is that the bail conditions was reduced from 10 million to 5 million Ghana cedis with 2 sureties. And that is what we are all happy about. So, to the media guys who came to cover this event, to the fans especially, and to the management people, as well as some friends and supporters of Shatta Wale, we want to say we are grateful. God bless you so much, and thank you for your continuous support. Shatta Wale is ever grateful to you guys for whatever you've done for him. I'm sure from time to time, you guys will be hearing from him very soon. So, to everybody around the world watching, Shatta Wale has been released.
So no question. I hope he will not come here again.
So that's Sammy Flex. He's lawyer for Shatta Wale. Let's now hear from the President of the Republic.
President John Dramani Mahama has cautioned that Africa's growing youth population could become a ticking time bomb if governments fail to create jobs quickly. He highlighted the creative industry, renewable energy and digital startups as sectors generating jobs at a faster pace than traditional economy, urging greater government investment in those areas. Speaking at a panel discussion during a private-public partnership dialogue at the ongoing Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD in Japan, President Mahama noted that traditional sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing are unable to absorb the millions entering the job markets each year.
The creative sector and youth startups are adding jobs faster than the traditional sectors. And so if you take the creatives, renewable energy and those spaces, they add about 4 jobs before you can create 1 job in agriculture or manufacturing. And so investing in that sector means that we can absorb more of the myriad of young people who are coming out of school. If we decide to concentrate on manufacturing and industry, Africa needs to turn up about 12 to 15 million jobs a year. You cannot create that in manufacturing and industry and agriculture alone, but the rate at which the creatives and digital space add jobs is much faster than the traditional economy. So it's a place that we must invest as governments in order that we can absorb more of the youth. We know that we say the youth bulge or the huge youth population in Africa is an advantage, but if we do not create enough jobs fast enough to absorb those young people coming out, then it will become a gunpowder keg and it could consume us.
You heard President John Dramani Mahama.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.ga or your My MTN app to sign up today. Everywhere you go.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Ah, go me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the go be too small.
The go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
If you know these sounds, you didn't just live through the 90s, you lived the experience. Back then, connection took minutes. Today, it takes a blink. You express yourself with memes. You hold video calls across continents. You say hey to an AI who responds,
Hello, Kwame.
You order rides, dinner, and dreams all from the palm of your hand. A lot has changed, so have we. For over 3 decades, EcoBank has evolved with you, leading digital banking in Ghana and across 33 African countries, pioneering solutions built around how you live, move, and dream today. From our express points to EcoBank Pay, online banking, and the mobile app, we are where you are. Here for today, ready for tomorrow. Now, that's change. Powered by EcoBank.
EcoBank, a better way to bank your way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akintin. Let's settle for the details. The Association of Ghana Industries is urging the Ghana Revenue Authority and regulators to intensify enforcement against illicit imports, warning that the city's recent appreciation is fueling an influx of goods, with some bypassing official channels. The city's gains have made imports relatively cheaper. But speaking at a Prudential Bank seminar on the currency's appreciation, AGI Chief Executive Officer Setchum Akwabwa stressed that while industry is not opposed to imports, they must pass through legitimate entry points. The Bank of Ghana has tightened control of the foreign exchange markets, banning banks from making dollar cash withdrawals for large corporates unless backed by equivalent deposits. The central bank says the practice, common among bulk oil distributors and mining firms, has been draining forex liquidity and destabilizing the city. Under the new directive, banks must provide documentation for every forex payout with sanctions for non-compliance. The BOG, however, assured that critical sectors such as petroleum and mineral exports will continue to receive legitimate support through structured mechanisms. Some members of the Canada-Ghana Chamber of Commerce have welcomed the government's plan to scrap the minimum capital requirement for foreign investors under the upcoming review of the GIPC Act. Executive Secretary Edwina Atasono tells Citi Business News the move could make Ghana a more attractive destination by lowering entry barriers for investors. She was speaking at the 2025 CEO Connect Summit organized by the Chamber.
Yeah.
It is a brilliant idea in the fact that we have to make Ghana attractive for investors to come in. If our investment capital is so high, we will not get them coming in. So I agree with the president 100%. If it starts functioning, we're going to get a lot more investors, not just from outside, even within Africa, to come in and invest in Ghana. We need those FDIs to come through. We need it. So let's make it conducive for them to come in.
That was the Executive Secretary of the Canada-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, Edwina Atasono. Now, government says a stronger transport and logistics system will be critical to delivering on the 24-hour economy policy. At the 60th anniversary launch of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport Ghana, Chief of Staff Julius Deborah challenged the institute to take a lead role in modernizing the sector. He stressed that efficient transport and logistics are vital for trade facilitation, reducing inefficiencies and creating jobs.
As a government, we remain committed to providing the enabling environment through policies, infrastructure, and incentives, which will allow the logistics and transport sector to flourish. But success cannot be achieved by government alone. It requires collaboration from the public sector, private sector, industry, academia, and professional bodies like CILT. Let this 60th anniversary not only celebrate the past, but mark the turning point where CILT Ghana positions itself at the center of Ghana's economic transformation. Let us build together a logistic and transport system that supports a truly 24-hour economy, an economy that creates jobs for our youth, promote trade across borders, and makes Ghana a shining beacon of opportunity in Africa.
Julius Deborah is Chief of Staff. Meanwhile, President of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport Ghana, Mark Efum Amoama, affirmed the association's readiness to respond to the evolving demands of the transport and logistics sector.
The world of supply chain, logistics and transport is changing at an unprecedented pace, driven by technology, sustainability, and changing consumer demands. CILT Ghana is ready to meet these challenges head-on. We are committed to equip our members with the skills and knowledge needed to strive in this new era, the challenges of today, as we put it. The Institute will establish, maintain, and champion the highest standards in professional conduct, educational attainments, and ethical values.
Mark Efum Amoama is president of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport Ghana. The Industrial and Commercial Workers Union is calling on government to revive struggling state-owned enterprises to restore productivity and create jobs. General Secretary Morgan Eyewitness says companies such as Neoplan Ghana and Akosombo Industrial Company are in urgent need of a facelift. Speaking at the union's 12th quadrennial delegates conference, he stressed that revamping these enterprises is key to providing sustainable employment for Ghana's youth.
Additionally, we call on government to revive distressed state-owned organizations, SOEs, many of which, if rejuvenated, can drastically reduce youth unemployment. These include Neoplan Ghana Limited, PBC, PLC, Cocoa Processing Company, Eyewitness, and Polugo Tomato Factory. Government must act decisively to resuscitate these enterprises and create sustainable jobs, especially for our youth.
Morgan Ayawene is General Secretary of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union. And that's it for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Biafe Akenti. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Your family's
health should never be a worry, no matter where you are in the world. Are you a Ghanaian in the diaspora, a foreign resident in Ghana, or a Ghanaian looking for the perfect health insurance plan for yourself or your family in Ghana? Then the Apex Ebusiapa Health Cover is what you need. A comprehensive health insurance plan to protect your loved ones. From hospital stays to life-saving treatments, we ensure quality healthcare at an affordable cost. Apex Ebusiapa Health Cover. You don't just send love home, you secure it. Visit Apex Health Insurance at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shashi East Legon, or call 0540-128-256 or 0501-683912. Apex Ebusiapa Health Plan. Global love, local care.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ah, go me. And what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamadu. Tonight on Point Blank, my guest is a lawyer, human rights advocate, and he's a member of parliament. He represents the good people of Medina. He nearly got arrested some time ago as a member of parliament for demonstrating to insist that his road be fixed. Now his party is in power. There's a reset, so I'll be asking whether that road has been fixed or not. Honorable Francis Javier Xavier Sosu, you're welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you, Maro.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing so well by God's grace, and I hope you are doing well too.
I'm trying to be well. Life is some way.
In the spirit of reset, everybody must try to be well.
That's true. We'll try to be well. Yes. We'll try to be. How is life treating you yourself?
Well, I think God has been faithful. It was, I think last week we were all a bit broken by the tragedy. But since the final barrier, we've been all trying to work hard to just get back to work, because the biggest tribute you can pay to our fallen heroes is to just go back and do exactly what they were doing and to make Ghana a better place. And so this week has started well. I hope that it ends well, and hopefully we should be able to fulfill the mission for which we've been called to come and serve in public life.
You're a member of parliament. You have not been given a ministerial position, but you've been appointed to the General Legal Council. You are part of the General Legal Council, correct?
That is correct. Nominated to the General Legal Council, as well as I serve on the GRA board as well.
Awesome. Hey, any better things are coming out?
Well, we trust the Lord.
So General Legal Council is the regulator of, is it the legal profession or legal education?
Both of them. It regulates legal profession and legal education.
Fantastic. You've done a recent shake-up at my school, your school, the Ghana School of Law. Can you tell us what it is exactly you are doing, and also tell us this your new plan to roll out a different kind of bar exams as announced by the Attorney General?
Let me put it this way. These are, I don't want to be seen as speaking officially for and on behalf of the General Legal Council, because I don't have any such mandate to do that. But I think that what happened at the law school is, the beginning of the what I would call the restructuring. Essentially, you can't restructure if you don't restructure management and top leadership, and that is why the director of law school who was seconded actually to the law school because he is a Court of Appeal judge. He's asked to go back to be at the Court of Appeal, and then Professor Atuguba now taking over as an acting director until confirmed or otherwise a substantive person is gotten for the law school. And so that is exactly what has happened. And secondly, I think the issue about a new bar exam, you would recall that in the 8th Parliament, myself and my colleague Roxin Dafiamekbo, as well as the Learned Attorney General, we all brought different private bills before the 8th Parliament with the intention to address the barriers to legal education in Ghana. And I think that the very sentiment in these bills is what has been put together by the Learned Attorney General, which is currently before Cabinet. We are hoping that once we have full Cabinet approval, we will all know the full content. But definitely what is going to happen is that the monopoly of the Ghana School of Law will be broken.
But people think that if you do that, then the prestige that is associated with the profession would also go. There's supposed to be a class profession, a class.
Well, I think that is a misconception. I mean, we don't need to create a class society with any profession. I believe that every Ghanaian must have an opportunity to fulfill their dreams and their aspirations in any profession of their choice, whether it's medicine or law or accounting. And I think that we shouldn't rather create barriers to people who want to achieve their legal goals. When you look at what is happening in other jurisdictions, law is still classy, and it doesn't matter whether it is a preserve of a few or there's an opportunity for everybody to become a lawyer. It will always be classy. It is your work and your integrity as a lawyer that sells, and that puts you out there. And it's not necessarily using tools and systems to preserve it for a few.
Okay, so now this new plan is to expand and provide access for many.
Absolutely. That is exactly what is going to happen.
And it will not compromise on quality? Not
at all. In fact, what it's going to do is going to restructure how even the law programs are taught, right? Because I think much of what happens in the LLB are more bookish. And then when you go to like Ghana School of Law, you would have thought that right from the word go, it would be hands-on practicals, but it's not the case. You go back to do a lot of theories, and it's only, for example, in drafting and maybe in criminal procedure that you learn how to draft charges, and I think basically these are the areas that we do when we do drafting and we do criminal procedure, right? And sometimes legal, civil procedure. But I think that drafting generally in legal practice go beyond that. If you teach people law of contract, you should be able to learn how to draft contracts. Simple. I mean, if you teach people about leases, they should be able to learn how to draft leases. So legal education is going to be more experiential than just bookish and theoretically based.
So we'll see more of the practical work.
Absolutely. So that once the person begins, you begin your LLB, you do your theory, because that's where you build on, you understand the fundamentals of the law and then the principles and the theories that underlie the legal practice and the profession itself. And then the law itself, that's a substantive law. Then the procedural law, which are all more practical, you know, the student to get the opportunity to start practicing that right through law school. So by the time you do up to like 5 years, you're already ready to write a bar. And wherever you are in Ghana, whether it's in Bunkpurugu or Narilugu or you are in Volta or wherever, you don't necessarily have to travel to Ghana School of Law in Makola or the few campuses around Accra to be called.
Very well. Let's remain in the law side, but not necessarily legal education. Your government is being accused of engaging in the same clearing agency that you accuse President Akufo-Addo of, in the filing of nolli prosequi and in the withdrawals that we have seen in recent times, where you have even come up with a formula of collecting 60% of the loot and letting 40% go, when you said you are coming to do Operation Recover All Loot. Can you defend that as a lawyer?
Well, I think that the Learned Attorney General has provided sufficient justification for what he's done. We must understand that every leader comes with their goal and define standards with which they want to work. And I don't have any basis to disagree with the learned Attorney General or to even not support his decision. Now, when an Attorney General is appointed, we trust in the professional integrity of the Attorney General to work for and for the people of Ghana. I think that what the Attorney General has done so far, in fact, in each of the knowledge prosecutions, he's provided legal justification for them. In fact, even
though he was not obligated to.
He's not obligated in the law. You are not supposed to provide any justification, but I think that he wanted the people of Ghana to understand that, of course, his administration and His Excellency John Dramani Mahamat's administration is not like that of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We want to be accountable to the people. In fact, the reasons why he tries to provide reasons for people of Ghana is to counter that argument that somebody may make and simply say that, well, he's doing the same thing because he's just clearing people. It's not just clearing people. There's a justification for decisions that have been taken. Of course, prosecutorial powers must not be abused. If you have a set of evidence that shows that you cannot prove your case beyond reasonable doubt, why do you go to court to prosecute? In fact, I have had problems with many prosecutions in the past because I see them as malicious prosecution. And as a practicing lawyer, I have been to court several times to simply to stop the processes of prosecution or process of investigation, including my own. When the IGP was coming after me, I went to the Human Rights Court to say that you cannot prosecute me because the set of evidence available will not lead to a conviction, and I will not wait for you to take me through the process only for us to have a miscarriage of justice for me to now start crying. You know, when you read Article 33 of the Constitution, it talks about protection of fundamental human rights. It says that you can actually protect those rights when the right has been violated or is being violated or is likely to be violated. So as a professional lawyer who is fair-minded person, who is a minister of justice, not a minister for injustice, and a minister of justice is not a minister for prosecution and a minister that must necessarily get a conviction. A minister is a minister that must sit back, look at the facts, and evaluate the evidence available and to know that and make a decision whether this can actually lead to a conviction or not. If it cannot lead to a conviction, it's okay to enter nolli prosequa. And so I think so far the Attorney General has done fantastic and is doing a great job, and we need to support him.
As we speak, Shatta Wale has been released from EOCO custody after the bail conditions were varied. Now, your government again has been accused of using EOCO and other bodies to set bail conditions that are preposterous, that are so difficult to reach or attain, and for that matter, you are locking people in disguise of bail conditions. What do you say to that as well?
Well, I think that we need to evaluate the situation very well. When you go to a regular court, when a court will have to set a bail condition, they will set the condition up to 3 times whatever is the value of the subject matter of the arrest or the prosecution. Okay. So assuming you are alleged to have misappropriated or let's say fraudulently received, say,
a Lamborghini worth $150,000.
A Lamborghini will know you want $150,000.
Okay, that's how much.
A Lamborghini will know $150,000. I mean, I can't say the price for sure, but I know I have a fair idea about pricing, car pricing. I don't think Lamborghini will be $150,000. And then
to be more or less.
So granted, if Lamborghini may probably be about, let's say, $200,000 or $300,000. You need to set bail condition up to 3 times.
Okay, that amount.
Yes, that's what you need to do. So if the market value of Lamborghini, for example, is approximately, let's say, $350,000, you expect that the EOCO will set the bail condition at about 10 million.
Okay.
And that's a reasonable thing to do. Of course, because the law is that don't use bail as a means of punishment. When the person cannot fulfill the condition, it's reasonable that you review the condition. So in my view, very respectful view, I think that what the EOCO is rather doing is really being fair-minded, and that when they set the condition, even be per what the practice has been, and the accused persons are unable to meet those conditions, they always come back to ensure that the conditions are varied. In fact, indeed, I've just been supplied with the information that a Lamborghini, the starting price of a Lamborghini is around $270,000.
Okay.
So you would expect that, obviously, even this revision right now, which is about 5 million now, is way below what even a court of competent jurisdiction would say as a bail condition.
I see.
So I think that the Yoko team are doing quite well. I think we must also put it out there. You know, citizens must also take some of these things a bit serious, because when this whole issue came up, you know, I've seen a few social media comments by the accused person, and very, very respectfully, I mean, I am a Shatta fan. I'm part of the Shatta movement.
You're from the Shatta
I mean, we are the Shatters. But very respectfully, I think it's important that when these matters come up, you treat them as a serious matter. It's not, they are not, these are legal matters. So if you take it for granted, it can easily land you in prison. And so I would also advise Shatta Wale and then his legal team that they should treat these matters as serious matters, because these are accusations come from FBI. So it's like, and we have bilateral arrangement with these countries to work together. So when there's a complaint, you expect the state to investigate it. And so I would beg that we all just live within the limits of the law so that we can stay at peace.
But you're a human rights lawyer, and not necessarily on Shatta Wale's case alone. Other persons who have been in custody for close to a week simply because they've not been able to meet bail conditions. If you were a human rights lawyer representing this, you would cry foul, wouldn't you?
Not, I won't only cry foul, but I would have gone to the High Court for revision of the bail condition.
Okay.
Because what I used to do, even as a human rights lawyer, was that even I sue the state on the allegations. If I feel the allegations are not true, I've been to court several times with Yoko, challenging letters of invitation to my client. Having invited to come and answer, once I have a reasonable basis to believe that the basis of that invitation is illegal, I go to court. So I think that lawyers must also be a bit proactive. When your client is invited, the law courts are there for everybody. So, I would not support any use of state power to intimidate citizens and to violate the right of citizens. I would not support that. However, it's important that the legal principles are voluntary non-fit injury. If you yourself give yourself, if you contribute to you losing out, then it becomes a problem. It's you. So everybody must be active and alert and know that anytime you think and you truly believe that, look, state power is being misused against your client, please go to court, challenge the court, be in court. For example, Learned Chief Justice is doing right now, challenging various, that is her right.
Which is actually going to be my next question, that you have come
and she has a right to do that.
Hound the Chief Justice out. No, that's something your party has promised and you are delivering.
Not at all. I respectfully disagree. I think that the law is the law. Let's just follow the law. In fact, that is where I'll leave that conversation.
Are you attributing this quote to anybody at all? Because I don't know how.
Actually, this quote is actually, it is trite law. Okay. That the law is the law.
Okay.
It is trite that the law is the law.
Do you have a case for me?
I can search. I will talk to my research assistants to see whether I can get some.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I'm Umaru Sanda, but my guest is Honorable Francis Xavier Sosu. We've been talking legal matters. Let's talk politics now. Your government is in power after a lot of campaign. Ghanaians have given you a very big mandate. In Parliament, you have literally drowned the opposition side. Why are you still going to Akwetia? What do you need an extra seat for? You already, there's a view that you have a lot of MPs who you are not able to give jobs to, and you are going to get more MPs?
Well, Maro, I think that we need to go to Akwetia because Akwetia is also going to test the popularity of the NDC as well. How the government is doing. It's also going to be partly a verdict on what we're doing so far, whether the people of Ghana are happy about the stability in the economy, the CD, the inflation rate, and what is generally happening right now. So I think that it is the right decision that the party has taken to go to Akwetia, and we will all be at Akwetia to support our colleague to ensure that the NDC adds that seat to our majority in Parliament. Now, a lot is going to happen in Parliament. If you realize in the last 8 months, much of what our colleagues have been doing is to put up a very destructive posturing. I mean, almost at every given opportunity, they want to just distract. And we need all the numbers so that, just as His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised Ghanaians a 24-hour economy, even if it means that we need to run a 24-hour parliament, we will have enough people in the majority side that will come in shifts to ensure that government business is done. It's so important. And also, you know that by virtue of our constitution, 51% of ministers must come from parliament. And when you have that number of ministers from parliament, it's not always easy to marshal everybody to come to the floor when we have to do government business. And I'm sure that your parliamentary correspondent would have told you several times how we are all whipped to rush. Sometimes I will be in even committee meeting, either as a ranking member, co-chairing a meeting or something, and you'll be whipped that stop the meeting and come. Because it's not always that you get a chance to get everybody. So every single seat counts, and I think that Kwetia seat counts.
Okay. How is the generality of Ghanaians going to benefit from the huge mandate that has been given you? Because we've seen you sitting at night, even with your supermajority. Does it mean that you are not available during the day to work? How are we going to benefit from this your majority you have?
I think Ghanaians are going to benefit in terms of the policy direction that we are taking the nation and some of the laws that we are already bringing in. You saw how we passed the Gold Board Act, the Social Protection Act. There are a number of laws that are in the offing that we need to bring about, a number of regulations that we need to pass for the people of Ghana. And I believe that these laws are going to set the right tones for us to benefit as a people. And that is how I believe that the people of Ghana are going to benefit from our supermajority.
It's too early now, but what is the use of an NDC victory to the people who live in Medina, your constituency? I.e., what is going to be the benefit for their votes over the next 4 years?
I think the next 4 years is going to be the best times for people in Medina, particularly people, both NDC and all those who actually supported my bid, because I know that even in Medina, it wasn't only NDC that voted for me. People from other political parties also supported me. Now, this 4 years, in all honesty, is dedicated to youth and employment, youth employment, what I would call infrastructure development and interventions, which is what I have started doing. Unlike serving last 4 years in opposition, now I'm so focused on getting the appropriate agencies to deliver on the various mandates they owe to Medina. So, I will work with the roads minister, and sooner than later, the people of Medina are going to see a lot of improvement in their roads. I know people are concerned about the Pantine Road, for example. People are concerned about the Oyarifa, the Imensa Damfa Road, on which I demonstrated. And people are concerned about the
I was around a breed this weekend. I wanted to use that road, but I remember the last time I used it. So
it's in very bad shape.
It's still bad.
Yeah, it's in bad shape. And then the Taiman roads, in fact, within Oyarifa, from Oyarifa to Owusu Ansa, and even part of Ina, part of even in Quantana, even the social welfare road. Look at the road from Third Gate all the way to Reese Junction. It's a border road between me and then Adenta. However, all these routes are roads that have been giving out, identified, tracked, and giving out on contract.
The road you were nearly arrested on is part of the big push, or it's part of?
It's not part of the big push, but it's already been awarded on contract.
Is road going to be the biggest issue for you in your constituency in particular?
Well, I think that in the last 4 years, it was a big issue. And I didn't understand why almost 22 different routes were given on contract, and yet no contractor was in Medina to do any work for all the 4 years. And so I have taken it upon myself that since that was a major infrastructure deficit that we did not have, even though it is not my core duty to go make routes, I've taken it upon myself to follow up on contractors who have been awarded these routes to ensure that once they've been awarded the routes, they can come on board and work. And I'm also working very closely with the Honorable Filer, who is the Municipal Chief Executive.
He was here. He was sitting in this chair last week.
Because, the allocations, financial allocations made to the Assembly has a component for road maintenance. And so, together with the drift machines and whatever financial allocations have been made, we are going to hit the road and do maintenance around. So, I mean, people living in Medina should actually look forward to improved road network in Medina within the next 4 years, because it's one thing that we are so committed to. And then, of course, the Medina market has a big problem, because the market is the second largest right now in Greater Accra region. And yet, it hasn't gotten any facelift in the last, only God knows when, more than 20 years. And so, and every now and then we have fires happening so
yes, the bit of the fires, it is becoming a problem. Your DC, your MC was not happy when he came.
Oh yeah,
are there some measures you're putting in place to prevent that?
Well, apart from education and using the fire service and men from the assembly, the whole Medina market need a reconstruction.
Okay,
we need to reconstruct the Medina market, and thankfully, it was part of His Excellency John Dramani Mahame's manifesto promises that we'll reconstruct Medina market. And so I am honestly looking forward that we'll keep working with his office and the respective ministers of state who are assigned to that, together with the municipal chief executive, to ensure that Medina market in particular is reconstructed, and then we can have, modern facilities in the market so the people of Medina can benefit. And quite apart from that, it's also health. Health is also one of the things that is very much on the ticket when it comes to Medina. Improving the Kekele Hospital, the Rolling Circle Hospital. In fact, we were working on a maternity, a recovery ward in the last 4 years. We never finished. Thankfully, we just have funds to complete it. So hopefully by the end of this year, we should be able to complete and inaugurate it.
Because you've talked about roads, Manchester sends a message from Damfa and says, please ask him when the Ayimensa Kweman Damfa Road will be done.
Oh, it's been awarded on contract. I am very sure that work will commence this year on that road.
You're positive?
Yes, I'm very confident.
You're making a lot of promises.
Oh, well, this time...
Are you sure there's money to do these things?
Well, I believe that allocations have been made, and the road minister has been very, very committed, and also the finance minister has been committed to this road infrastructure that we want to do. So I'm very confident that this work will definitely start this year.
Soa from Oyarifa is sending you hi. He's a big fan. He said they love you. But I have a question from someone you know. I will not mention his name, but he says I should ask you the following in relation to the legal education bit we did. He said, ask him, the Ghana School of Law has both history and sentimental values. Why would anyone want to collapse it? That's the first question.
I don't think that the Ghana School of Law is going to be collapsed. We must understand that the Ghana School of Law was established way back in the 1960s. And we are in 2025 for crying out loud.
So we should reset.
We have to reset. It's so important that we do that.
Even though there are sentimental values. You remember Ghana School of Law. People from next year or next 2 years, when
what are sentimental values what are sentimental values to progress? If we want to talk about sentimental values, then we still will be living around Yas Antoine's time, when Yas Antoine was leading women to go fight for us. Sentimental values were the times that of the Trokoshis. We don't need to take away Trokoshis. Sentimental values are attached to people saying that.
Sentimental values are saying that the golden stool came from Confanochi when he conjured it from the sky. Yes. And we still have it and we cherish it.
Oh, well, nobody says that you are not going to cherish the history of Ghana School of Law. The history will remain with us. But the change and the reset must happen.
He asks further, he says, also, can he deny that many of the LLB institutions with respect are not up to their value? Why would such schools be allowed to do the bar when they don't have qualified lecturers?
Well, that is a big indictment to, various institutions that are running the LLB program. I completely disagree with him. In fact, I never knew until recently I had to deal with other lawyers who, came from all the other schools, from Wisconsin, Central University, or all the other universities. You see, I think that the fears are genuine. The fear that maybe some are not doing things right and it will compromise quality and so on. They are genuine fears. But I want to assure them that, look, that has to do with quality assurance. And so the fact that there are challenges with quality assurance now should not be a bar to moving forward.
But don't you think you should do a stakeholders conference of a sort and hear from all before you go ahead with this move?
Absolutely. Stakeholders will be heard. The legislative progress or process requires a necessary stakeholders engagement. Now, what's going to happen is that when this bill comes to Parliament, there is definitely going to refer to the Constitutional Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee.
Okay.
The committee is going to invite memos from all stakeholders. In fact, if it requires even public hearing, there will be public hearings on this. So any views that you have, don't be worried. You can bring all of them, and it will refine the law.
Last one from Quantana. The person says that their area and surrounding has been abandoned, so please come to their aid. I don't know what they mean by abandoned, but I'm sure you represent
well,
them.
In Quantana, of course, part of Quantana is part of the Medina market anyway. The Medina market is situated in Quantana, so it's a legitimate concern. So we would come and take care of you. It's fine.
Efonye, thank you so much for joining us.
The pleasure is my Umaro.
Honorable Francis Xavier Sosu, very, very nice looking man.
It's because I'm Papa Bantino.
Bye-bye. I am Umaru Sandamano. This has been Eyewitness News, produced by Beverly Landon, Kobina Wilson, Chris Isima, Juliana Odami Asad, and technical support from Daniel Squashi, new media support from Emmanuel Usu and his team. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.